Fanjing is a gigantic and interesting country, which impresses with a blaze of colors and an unimaginable number of special places. From architecture to landscapes, one can enumerate the amazing sights of India for a very long time. One of the most unique temples in India, the main decoration of which is the unique carved pillars, is the small Amriteshvara temple in the village of Amrithapura. The temple was built in 1196 AD during the reign of King Hoysala. The temple embodies the characteristic features of the Hoysala temple architecture. The square temple has an original superstructure, which is decorated with sculptures and miniature ornamental towers. On the outer walls of the temple, graceful bas-reliefs worked out to the smallest detail with scenes from the Mahabharata, Ramayana and epic works of ancient India. The Hoysala-style Great Hall is one of the most important parts of the temple. Rows of sparkling round polished columns with intricate carvings support a domed ceiling decorated with floral designs. The unique technologies of ancient builders amaze and delight. The shape of the pillars is unique. They were created more than 800 years ago, at a time when there were no lathes. There are magnificent floral patterns on the ceiling of the hall. According to art historians, the carved pillars of the Amriteshvara are made of natural building materials such as soapstone. The use of soapstone as the main building material was a technique the Hoysala Empire inherited from its ancestors. There is an assumption that modern archaeologists and geologists are more and more inclined to that the pillars in the temple were made of a monolithic piece of stone turned on a lathe. If we assume that such technologies were really available 8 centuries ago, it is difficult to imagine how exactly it was possible to turn a stone column weighing tens of tons on a lathe. It is not an easy task even for modern craftsmen. Many versions have been presented about how the carved pillars of Amriteshvara were created. This is the making of circular cuts with a rope or belt with a quartz or diamond hammer, before lathes and milling cutters were used for stone carving. Researchers believe that such precise machining of the material can only be achieved by rotating the workpiece around the axis with a high-strength cutting tool. In general, who, when and especially with whose help such a beauty was created remains a mystery to us. In India there is still a no less mysterious temple, also with unique columns, which also amazes with its unusual architectural design of the Kapishwar temple. It is an excellent example of ancient Indian culture. The temple complex seems to be leaning on the back of 92 carved stone elephants. The temple has a height of 17 meters to the top of the dome and 3 main entrances to the east, north and south. Inside the temple there are 108 basalt columns carved out of stone. The basalt for the construction of the Kapishwar temple was allegedly supplied from the Sahara Mountains about 100 kilometers away. The walls of the temple are literally littered with images of gods with breathtaking carvings. Graceful, ornate bas-reliefs on the walls of the temple depict the scenes of Mahabharata, Ramayana and epic works of ancient India. The ceiling is semicircular with incomparable engravings. Ancient Indian myths say that the god Shiva stayed in the Kapishwar temple to calm the anger after his first wife Sati performed a ritual of self-immolation due to the contradictions between Shiva and Akshara, and after a while was reborn in the form of Parvati. The Kapishwar temple looks like an ancient stargate. The main part of the temple complex is unique in its architecture, has an open lobby from which one looks out of the temple hall into the sky. The person appears hypnotized to experience the feeling of being one with the universe and nature. And finally we would like to tell you about the richest temple in India, the Padmanabhaswamy temple, which has a mysterious door that is forbidden to open. The temple was built in 1731 by Rajanathandavarma. It was erected in honor of the great Vishnu, for whose worship people did not save resources. The best craftsmen took part in the construction of the temple, so it looks amazing even in our time. The incredible precision of the carving and processing of small details inspire thousands of tourists every year. Hundreds of people carried the most valuable things into it from the moment of its construction. So for centuries unheard of wealth accumulated in the temple that waited in the backdrops. There is a statue of Vishnu in the central hall. It is covered with gold and all kinds of jewels. But this is not the main treasure of the temple. All of its main treasures have been hidden in underground vaults. In 2009, Indian lawyer Sundar Rajan was concerned about the safety of the treasures. He considered it necessary to register them because of the great danger of their looting. Rajan asked the Supreme Court to open the temple's underground storage rooms. In 2011, the court granted the solicitor's request and most of the hiding spots were opened. You have no idea how many treasures were found there. The total amount of the finds was more than $20 billion. But that's not all the temple surprised with. A door remained unopened in its vault. Legends say that the most valuable treasures were hidden behind this door by Vishnu. This door can only be opened in the extreme case. Whoever dares to interfere unnecessarily with their wealth will face severe penalties. It is said that the British tried to wear upon in the 19th century. Huge snakes flew at them out of the darkness, which could not be hit by bullets or sharp weapons. As a result, approaching the door was forbidden. Maybe this is just a legend, but what is interesting is that the Supreme Court of India ruled on the inviolability of this cache. Now this temple is one of the protected objects in India. Over 100 people are committed to its protection, and in it the most modern security equipment was installed, which is hidden in the last cache behind the forbidden door of the Indian temple of Padmanabhaswamy, and which remains perhaps the greatest secret. We'll wait for the mysterious door to open, friends, but we've got it all for today. I hope you found something interesting. Goodbye.
What's going on? This is Cotton. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.